Muy buenas, chavales. Creo que este es el capítulo 5 de Juego de Tronos. No estoy seguro, lo mismo es el 10 y no me he enterado. Vete tú a saber. Bueno, nos habíamos quedado en desembarco del rey con Mira Forrester. Y, y bueno, vamos a ver qué se nos cuenta aquí la muchacha, ¿no? Está a tomar por culo de su familia, pues algo tendrá que decir. Por algo estará allí. Y bueno, nos habíamos quedado aquí. A ver qué nos cuenta. ¿Qué es esto? Vale. ¿Hay algo por aquí? Mi no entender, en serio. Ah, claro, la carta de la madre.
It troubles me to even ask this of you, but you must appeal to Lady Marjorie to intervene on our behalf. She is our best hope, and can be a powerful ally, especially now when your family so desperately needs her help.
Pero, ¿cómo le voy a pedir nada a la otra? Si soy ¿cómo se llama? Bueno, su criada, pero no es su criada como tal. No me acuerdo cómo se llaman estas mujeres. Las handmaiden, bueno, da igual.
One moment.
Nunca me sale la palabra en español.
Oh, sorry, milady. I didn't mean to disturb you. I can come back later if you'd like.
No me acuerdo cómo se llama. No, entra.
No,
Majo.
it's fine. Come in.
¿Pero qué quieres? A ver. Ah, vale. Es el criado, debe ser, y nos está llenando de carbón
Begging
la
your
estufilla.
pardon, milady, but you alright? If you don't mind my asking, you seem rather upset.
Pues no, yo
I'm
estoy
just
preocupado.
worried about my family.
Ah, letter from home, is it?
It's kind of you to ask.
Of course, milady. You've always been kind to me.
Please hurry if you can. Lady Marjorie will be here any minute.
Of course, milady.
Estás limpio, ¿eh?
You work for Lady Marjorie? I may be wrong, but it seems like you do.
¿Ves? Si es que me acordaba de que está...
I'm her handmaiden.
That's what I thought. I've seen you with her before. You seem like good friends.
¿Cómo se...?
I saw
No
Lady
me
Marjorie
acuerdo
just this
cómo se
morning,
dice en español.
outside the Royal Sept, talking to Queen Cersei.
Cersei?
¿Y qué?
They appeared to be having some sort of disagreement. I couldn't hear much, but
What did they say?
I couldn't make
dijeron?
out much, but I know they were talking about the Starks and House Forrester.
House Forrester?
Bueno, espérate.
I hope you're not in any kind of trouble, but I thought you ought to know. Most people don't tend to notice a callboy, not in King's Landing with so many lords and ladies about. You see and hear all sorts of things when people don't even know you're there. Good night, milady.
Pero como que buenas noches, si es de día. Se hace un solazo ahí. Madre mía, arréglate la vista. Oh,
Lady Marjorie, you're
¿qué
early.
tal, Lady Marjorie?
I was hoping there would be time for us to talk. Come, there's something we must discuss.
Vale.
From the day you arrived in Highgarden, I've thought of you more as a friend than as my handmaiden. A dear friend, in fact.
Thank you, my lady.
And you know how I feel about what's happened to your family. I feel your pain as if it were my own.
¿Ah, sí?
What you've suffered is beyond imagining. And your poor family as well.
You're very kind, my lady.
Of course, Mira, but you must not despair. We will get through this together.
Vale.
You must understand there are limits to what I can say, especially here in King's Landing, now that I am to be queen. To have a handmaiden from the north whose family fought for Robb Stark. It raises questions at a time I can least afford. Cersei herself cornered me this morning outside the royal sept. She mentioned the northern girl in my service, and she painted you a traitor.
Me estoy imaginando que...
She was very pleased with herself.
I'm not a traitor.
Of course not. It's only an excuse to torment you, and by extension, me.
Estoy imaginando
She
que
demands
pedir la
an
ayuda esta va a
audience.
ser
She wants an
tontería.
apology of some sort. For what, I don't know, but she's waiting for us now, and I promised I would bring you to her. I wouldn't ask this of you if it were not important. I cannot afford any conflict with Cersei with the wedding so near.
What do I say?
Find a way to appease her. Humor her. Tell her what she wants to hear.
Vale.
See if the Queen Regent is ready to receive us.
Pues nada. Nos va a dar un poquito por el culo, parece, la reina.
You'll be fine. I know you will. You may feel one thing, but you must say another.
Vale, o sea que mienta como un bellaco.
Good luck.
Joder, ni que me fuera a clavar la cabeza en una pica así nada más entrar, ¿no?
You can do this.
Pues venga. Esta piba en la realidad, la Lady Marjorie, tiene un puntazo, ¿eh? Vamos, la actriz.
Ah, Lady Marjorie.
Tyrion,
Aren't
¿cómo
you
andas? ¿Qué
looking
tal?
lovely this evening?
Lord Tyrion. Your Grace? With your permission, allow me to introduce Lady Mira of House Forrester.
Vamos. Hay que...
Your Grace.
Hay que darle ahí todo lo que... Mira, mira,
Girl
la
knows her
Queen
courtesies.
is pleased.
Impressive. You may rise.
House Forrester is a northern house loyal to the king.
Are they?
I beg your pardon, Your Grace.
I wasn't talking to you. I want to hear from the girl. Is your family loyal to the king?
Sí,
Perhaps
sí,
you
sí.
should ask the new Lord Forrester.
He's not here, is he? She is.
Joffrey is the one true king, Your Grace.
And yet, for centuries the Forresters have been loyal bannermen to House Stark. A house of traitors.
Cabrones.
They were the Wardens of the North. We all served at the pleasure of the king.
Clever girl.
Toma. Vuelve, Cersei.
Perhaps too clever for her own good.
The girl did name Joffrey as the one true king.
Is your house willing to swear fealty to your new liege lord, Roose Bolton?
Pues claro.
He is the Warden of the North, Your Grace.
He is. And I the Queen Regent and Tyrion the Master of Coin.
The girl has a remarkable talent for answering questions while in fact saying nothing at all.
No, la estamos
Old
cabreando.
allegiances are not easily abandoned. But now that the war is over, we must look to rebuild and forge new alliances. There are ships and shields to be built, and Joffrey will need a steady supply of ironwood for his armies.
A ver.
I'm told there are others who would happily serve that purpose, but I trust we can rely on House Forrester.
Forster Ironwood does seem rather unique.
Yes, Your Grace.
Claro.
It would be a shame to see it fall into the hands of another house. I imagine you'd do almost anything to prevent that from happening, wouldn't you? Ask any Lannister, and they'd do whatever was necessary to save Casterly Rock. It would be unfortunate to see another house lay claim to what's yours.
Yes, Your Grace. I would do anything.
Claro que sí.
I see.
What would you have the girl do, Cersei? It's not as if she fought beside the Starks, wielding a battle axe for the Northern Army.
It raises an interesting question, I suppose. Can we truly blame those who end up on the wrong side of the wall? Our dear Marjorie here was betrothed to Renly Baratheon on the false assumption that he would one day rule the Seven Kingdoms.
A ver.
Can we fault her for her mistake? Should she be held accountable?
I'm sure she regrets it.
Sí, sí, sí.
Perhaps. Perhaps not.
If there's a point to this, I hope you find it quickly.
Loyalty can be such a hard thing to define.
Nos está dando, ¿eh?
This city alone is filled with all sorts of ambitious opportunists looking to reinvent themselves, pretending to be something they're not.
Vale.
Who knows what lurks within their hearts?
Pero
You are a
nos
girl
está
from the
dando.
north here in service to Lady Marjorie. One can only assume her interests are yours. Yet loyalty to a king, that must be absolute, beyond question. And if your loyalties were to become conflicted between your king and the very person whom you serve, what would you do then?
I'm sure she
Let the
would...
girl answer the question. Go on.
Be true
I
to
would
the
be
king.
true to the king, Your Grace.
Claro.
Well said. I was beginning to worry you didn't have your priorities straight.
She is a threat to the crown, isn't she? The most dangerous handmaiden in all of King's Landing.
My sense is this girl will say almost anything to get what she wants. Which is not very encouraging. I'd like a word with you, if I may.
Of course, Your Grace.
La hemos cagado. No le hemos caído muy bien a ella y encima hemos jodido a la amiga.
I'll walk you out. This may come as a surprise, but I met your father once, at the tourney at Lannisport. Even then he didn't trust Roose Bolton.
Sí.
We only spoke briefly, but your father struck me as an honorable man. You have my condolences for his loss. These would be trying times for your family, even under the best of circumstances.
Thank you, Lord Tyrion. That's very kind of you to say.
That certainly took courage. To so publicly declare your loyalty to Joffrey for all to hear. Poor Lady Marjorie was humiliated, although Cersei seemed quite pleased.
Bueno.
It was quite a first impression. I, of course, found it all highly entertaining.
I don't particularly like her.
Yet you did your best to please. You'll do well here in King's Landing. My sister and I have our differences. She takes great pleasure in her little charades. I take mine in thwarting them. We must find our amusements where we can. She threatened to give your ironwood to another house. It is the Master of Coin who decides such matters. The Crown needs boats. Boats need wood, and I speak for the Crown in this regard, not her.
You can help my family.
I suppose the Crown could be persuaded to secure ironwood from House Forrester. Lady Marjorie might not look favorably on such an alliance, and it would infuriate Cersei. Although what would be amusing for me might prove rather dangerous for you and your house. Are you willing to risk that? It may be far too dangerous. In fact, forget I even suggested such a thing.
It's a risk I'm willing to take, Lord Tyrion. Please.
You are a brave girl, aren't you?
Lo que nos están pidiendo
I'll consider it.
es
Now, if you'll
jodido.
excuse me, I promised Sansa I would join her for dinner tonight. 3 beautiful bottles of Dornish wine await my arrival.
I hope we meet again.
Nothing would make Cersei happier. Until then, be careful. This is not the North. King's Landing can be a nest of vipers to the uninitiated.
Sí, sí, ya lo veo. Hostia, es que lo que nos piden es jodido, ¿eh? Vamos, lo que nos pidas es 6.
Mira, I was worried. How was it?
Como el culo.
Cersei has a way of looking at you as though you're nothing.
It didn't go very well.
Adiós.